The senators have asked to meet with me today. I confess I am not entirely willing, but I will go at the insistence of my dear friend Brutus.
In the Shadow of Loss, the childhood story of Julius Caesar. Caesar was born in 100 before Christ in Rome. He came from a noble and aristocratic family, but one that stood on the brink of financial ruin. He lost his father at the age of just 15, leaving his upbringing in the hands of his strong-willed mother.
I lost my father when I was very young. After that, life changed. We struggled financially, and for a long time things were uncertain. But somehow we kept going.
Julius Caesar steps into the realm of religion. At the age of 15, Caesar, with the support of his influential relatives who led the popular political faction, was nominated for the priestly office of Flamen Dialis. This religious office was governed by unique and strict regulations. The priest of this office was forbidden to ride a horse, draw a sword, sleep without his sacred garments, or even leave the city of Rome. The priest of this office was required to tend the sacred fire of Jupiter, declare days of good and ill omen, and serve as the official intermediary between the Senate and the gods. Julius Caesar remained silent about this chapter of his life, but after the opposing faction came to power and his nomination for the priesthood was revoked, he was forced into a period of unofficial exile before eventually embarking on his military career. After his appointment to a priestly office was revoked and facing relentless pressure from Rome's dictator, Julius Caesar fled Rome and embarked on a self-imposed exile. He promptly enlisted in the Roman army and began his military service in Asia Minor. During this turbulent period, Caesar's life was marked by extraordinary adventures. He was captured by Cilician pirates who demanded a substantial ransom for his release. Once the ransom was paid and he was set free, Caesar made good on the promise he had made to his captors. He raised the fleet, hunted them down, and exacted his brutal revenge by having them crucified. On the battlefield, he earned the prestigious Corona Civica, the crown of oak leaves, for saving the life of a fellow Roman citizen, one of Rome's highest military honors. However, after the dictator's death and his return to Rome, Caesar grappled with severe financial hardship. He resolved to pursue a career in law, making a name for himself by prosecuting powerful figures in court to pave the way for securing political office.
In the courts, I did not stand for the nobility. My voice was a weapon, forged for the people, for justice, for truth, for Rome. and in that sacred duty I did not fail.
After a period practicing law, Julius Caesar's political career began formally and systematically, and in 69 before Christ he secured his first position on Rome's ladder of power. He sequentially attained the offices of quaestor, with responsibility for financial oversight, then aedile, tasked with organizing public games and overseeing city affairs, followed by praetor, serving as a senior judge of Rome, and finally the Republic's most prestigious office, consul, in 59 before Christ. This period served as a launching pad for Caesar's greater ambitions. Just 1 year later, in 58 before Christ, he was appointed proconsul, a military governor over Rome's northern provinces, including Gaul. It was an assignment that would lead him into a series of campaigns, beginning with confrontations against Germanic tribes and culminating in one of the greatest conquests in Roman history.
They had become a threat to us, a persistent one. Someone had to stop them, and I was that someone. And let no one forget, so long as I live, no one has the right to endanger the security of Rome.
Caesar laid the foundations for his mission in Gaul while in Rome, and soon set out from northern Italy to begin his campaign. Over 8 years of campaigning, Julius Caesar conquered the entirety of Gaul. By building a bridge and crossing the Rhine River, he became the first Roman to enter Germanic territory, fortifying Rome's borders against their incursions by pushing them back. Caesar also conducted 2 expeditions to Britain, extending Roman influence to an island that, until then, was considered unknown and mythical to the Romans, and laid the groundwork for the first political and commercial relations. These conquests brought Caesar immense wealth, unprecedented fame, and a powerful and loyal army. As a result, his position in the Roman Republic became so formidable that the political balance was altered forever. After the Gallic Wars, Julius Caesar marched with his army to the border of Italy. According to the laws of the Roman Republic, no military commander was allowed to cross the Rubicon River with armed forces. Crossing this boundary meant rebellion against the Republic and the beginning of civil war. The Senate had ordered Caesar to disband his army and return to Rome without his troops, but Caesar refused. The reason was clear. He knew that returning without his army would strip him of political immunity and expose him to legal charges, prosecutions, and political elimination. Many of his rivals in the Senate, especially Pompey, were determined to remove him. Standing by the Rubicon River, Caesar made his final decision. he uttered a phrase that has echoed through history. The die is cast. By crossing the Rubicon, the Roman Republic entered a state of crisis. This event marked the beginning of civil war and a gradual collapse of the republican system. After crossing the Rubicon River, Caesar took control of most of Italy without significant resistance and eventually entered the city of Rome. He declared himself temporary dictator. Shortly after, he marched west and defeated Pompey's allies in modern-day Spain. Following this victory, he returned to Rome and then set out for Greece to confront the remaining opponents. In the end, he defeated his opponents at the Battle of Pharsalus, and Pompey fled to Egypt. After his defeat at the Battle of Pharsalus, Pompey fled to Egypt, hoping to gain the support of the Pharaoh of Egypt. However, the Egyptian officials, seeking to gain Caesar's favor, assassinated Pompey on the shores of Alexandria and presented his severed head to Caesar. Although Pompey was Caesar's enemy, he was still a Roman and had once been one of the Republic's heroes. Caesar was angered by the incident and began thinking of revenge. After establishing himself in Egypt, Caesar had a plan to put his agenda into motion. A coup. He believed the pharaoh's sister, Cleopatra, was an intelligent, clever, and trustworthy woman who could play a crucial role in Egypt's political future. Therefore, Caesar decided to use Cleopatra as his starting point to strengthen his influence in Egypt. According to a famous story, Caesar arranged for Cleopatra to be brought to him secretly and unexpectedly. She was wrapped inside a carpet and secretly brought to Caesar. When Cleopatra appeared before Caesar, they both quickly realized they had a common goal, and that by cooperating, they could overthrow the Pharaoh of Egypt. Meanwhile, in addition to a political relationship, an emotional one also formed between them, and it changed the fate of Rome and Egypt forever. Ultimately, Cleopatra and her supporters staged a coup in Egypt, and Caesar, with his 6th legion of about 4,000 soldiers, came to their aid. The final battle took place near the Nile River. The combined forces of Cleopatra and Caesar, bolstered by reinforcements sent by Mithridates of Asia Minor, engaged the pharaoh's army. In this battle, the pharaoh was decisively defeated by Cleopatra and Caesar and drowned in the Nile River while fleeing the battlefield. After this victory, Cleopatra consolidated her power in Egypt and became a powerful political ally and a secret lover to Caesar.
By order of Caesar, subscribe to the channel right now.
In 46 before Christ, Cleopatra, along with her son Caesarion, arrived in Rome at Caesar's invitation. The presence of Cleopatra and her child, rumored to be Caesar's unofficial heir, provoked the anger of many members of the Senate and paved the way for the conspiracy and eventual assassination plot against Caesar.
I have always admired Caesar's strength. He is a dear friend, but lately I see a change. This title, dictator for life, it troubles me. It is not the Roman way. He is beginning to believe the republic is his to command.
He treats the Senate as spectators, expecting applause for his will, not debate. But the Republic is a sacred trust, not a prize for one man's vanity. It is our sworn duty to reclaim.
After long debate, a number of us in the Senate have reached a difficult consensus. The ambition of one man cannot be allowed to dismantle the Republic. Therefore, a decision has been made. The time for talk is over. Today is the day for action.
This is not an act of passion. It is a political necessity. We are not striking at a man, but at the very idea of a king that Key represents. And so, today, Caesar will be destroyed forever.
On March 15th, 44 before Christ, known as the Ides of March, Caesar went to the theater of Pompeii, where Senate meetings were temporarily being held. That morning, his wife Calpurnia had a troubling dream and tried to dissuade Caesar from going, but he ignored the warnings. As Caesar entered the chamber, a group of senators who had secretly plotted his murder surrounded him. One senator pretended to beg Caesar and fell at his feet, but suddenly pulled a dagger from under his clothes and struck the first blow. Immediately, the other senators joined in and attacked Caesar with their knives. Amid the faces of the traitors, Caesar suddenly saw one of his closest friends, Brutus, a man he had always completely trusted and loved like a son. Brutus approached Caesar and delivered the final blow. Shocked by his betrayal, Caesar uttered a sentence and, covered in blood, collapsed to the ground and died. You too, Brutus,